Yo, boys, how we doing today? I'm feeling extra great. Why am I feeling extra great? Because it's an upper chest video. I love the upper chest, especially with this one. This is the biggest bang for your buck you're ever going to get in terms of per unit of time. Your time going the furthest it could possibly go. But before we get started, you guys know the deal here. If you're new here, congratulations, because I love this channel. And I think a lot of people that are on this, hopefully they feel the same way. But I genuinely enjoy doing what I do. It's fun. But regardless, you guys are here for a reason, not to hear me blibber babble. We'll get right into it. Today is the upper chest solution video. And if you're new here, understand that we are also, aside from being upper chest supremacists, we are superset supremacists. And the way we do it, instead of us running around just doing a bunch of machines at once, which is basically what most people do with supersets, or they tend to cut off both of them because they're like, well, I'm going to get extra volume on the back end. We don't do things that way. We're very pinpointed, precise. We're like snipers. And so when we superset not just the same exact muscle, but the same exact portion of the muscle. But the way we're going to do it is on the front end, you're going to pick a compound exercise, one that you're prioritizing the amount of weight you're pushing, but making sure you have quality reps. We do not sacrifice that end. And on the back end, you pick an isolation exercise to take that muscle to complete failure. So without further ado, we're going to get right into it. It is absolutely game time. But before we do that, actually, I'm going to kind of have to set this up. This is what you get when you come to the dungeon, right? You have this thing. This thing's been fixated. I'm pretty sure this contraption was created probably in the 80s, honestly. This thing, as you can tell, why is your barbell bent? I already know you're going to ask that question. Why? Because this thing has quite literally years of abuse, to be honest with you. I actually want to test out this weight. To be honest with you, I don't even know if these weights are accurate. You know what it's like, low-key. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the times these guys talk about, like, yeah, technically it should be 25 pounds, but the 25 pounds feels heavier than the commercial 45-pounders. Okay. That feels heavier than normal. Okay. All right. We're going to go for it. We're bumping up the weight. 100% we're bumping up the weight. But I don't think as much as I wanted to. Keep in mind I hit chest earlier. Why are you hitting chest back to back? That's how much I love y'all, man. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I really do lay my body out on the line for you guys every single day. Yeah, there is a huge benefit, and that means, you know, I'm getting some extra volume in. You know, actually, because I'm so kind, I'm actually going to show you guys a cooler angle versus it being like, you know, front shot, to be honest. A bit weird. Yeah, it should be a sick angle for you guys. All right, starting this off. Why? Because we set a compound movement on the front end. You can pick anything. If I had heavy enough incline dumbbells, I would definitely opt in for that. I love incline dumbbell presses. But I want to make sure I'm pushing a decent amount of weight for myself. So I had to go for the barbell because my dumbbells only go up to 40 pounds. That ain't going to do it for me. You know what? Instead of me kind of explaining what I think about, I'm going to go through a set, full blast. So a lot of times when people incline bench, they tend to flare out their elbows a ton, and it's because it's easier maybe to lift it off. But I try to keep my body compact, retract my scapula, and now I'm pressing almost like here it feels like it's stretched, you know? And that's usually a good gauge for me. I try to dictate the stretch, and then I pop out, just like that. Like, I almost try to keep my body a little bit more compact. Another thing you guys can do, and that's another video for another day, but learning to mix up your grips is an incredible way of getting stronger. There's a huge difference between wide grip bench pressing versus close grip versus neutral grip. They all have their innate advantages, especially with weak spots in your lift, and obviously depends on what you're kind of going for. But mixing up your grips is something you should be getting in the habit of. If you have an arm day in the week, do an incline close grip, which I'm going to show a video on. It's something nobody does, and it's absolutely fantastic. Way better than the flat. If you have a higher incline press, your flat bench goes up by proxy. That operates the same exact way with a close grip incline. It's only going to help out your wider. You get what I'm trying to say? All right, I have to lock in the music, and for some reason the music has been like weird with it. So I'm going to lock in for a set. I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like, the type of intensity I deliver. Hopefully I don't die under the bar. And let's get into it. And I already know you guys are going to ask, what are you listening to? I'm actually listening to Big L right now. If you guys don't know about Big L, well, sorry. Sucks. Breathing is something you guys need to focus on as well. Breathing is so important. Just breathing in through your nose and being able to press from a safe place. Your breath starts to give you almost more reps in the reserve. All right, I'm being yelled at by Big L. Let's get into it. Oh, oh. Bark, optional. With the death grip. Come on. Don't die. Ah! Close call. Let's get it. Superset time. All right. And then we go right into an isolation exercise. And to show you how creative I can get is if you got bands, put them around the bench. Great isolation exercise. Obviously, there's a ton more you can do, but this is my preferred. The method still remains the same and it remains intact. So all I'm going to do is make sure on this, right, no breaks between. And I like to cross them at the top. Why? I just like it because it extends out the contraction a little bit more, keeping my posture up, no sacrifice, and understand, I'm going to take a second here, but I want to explain something. Your chest fibers run this way. So if you're coming in this way, it's a lot easier to find the contraction. The best way of doing that is through the stretch. The stretch dictates how you follow through. Just like that. God. Now it's partial time. This is what complete failure looks like. Ah, my goodness, dude. When you superset in this way, you just have no holes in your game. Now, a lot of people will ask me, so you do superset throughout the entire lift. How many sets do you do? How many reps? I think these are all just awful ways of thinking of it. Like, if I told you to get in good cardio shape, right? What you do is you'd run a mile, and you test that mile time to make sure that number got lower, lower, and lower. But we don't take that approach to lifting. Lifting, I notice, like, basically all lifters just check off boxes. You should be training for performance. Like, when you superset in this way, it's very possible starting off, you need one set. That's it. One set of just hard, heavy hitting exercises, quality reps, and nailing it down. And as you get into better shape, what can happen? You probably are going to recover faster, which means what? You can now probably add in a bit of volume. That's the game. I always say that, like in the beginning of you lifting, it is quite literally a game of volume. Play, try stuff from the internet. I always tell people if I was just getting started from nothing, I would start with calisthenics. I think it's the best possible base to have. And then on top of it, I would just throw in workouts that I see online. Obviously my workouts, I'm not biased or anything. But real talk, you just try out exercises because it's all going to work in the beginning. But having that base be strong, where you start doing maybe weighted pull-ups and weighted dips and like make that the centerpiece and baseline and foundation of your fitness, it makes everything a ton easier to go up. You get what I'm saying? But especially, not to go off on a tangent, but I'm explaining this out because it's a game of performance. You start doing all that volume to then learn what quality looks like. The more volume you do, the better you'll get at something. The more you'll learn what quality looks like. And when you nail down quality, quality is the most important thing. That's what we're after. That's why you're doing all that volume. And then from there, it becomes a game. And this is where I'm probably going to have a different opinion on it than most others. But my goal is to crank up the quantity of the quality sets that I'm doing. So in the beginning, I might start with 1, and then I'll work my way to 2, then 3, then 4. When I start getting into 4 and 5 territory, I know that I'm leaving too much in the tank on those first ones, and it forces me to go back and be like, let's really dial in on these sets. And then I end up going back to 3 because now I'm learning what quality is even on a higher level. That's the game. So when you start asking those questions, ask yourself, what type of shape am I in? Let me test it out. How do I feel afterwards? How sore am I the next day? And then start making notes of it. I had an excruciating leg day yesterday. My body is so sore, my hips and my glutes, because I'm working on a new workout program. Basically, I've been working out the way I'm showing you guys, the way I've been working out for 4 years. I literally just now decided to then switch gears because where I'm trying to go requires me now coming back to creative solutions. But I've been nailing down the work that works for so long that I know in my head I've kind of maxed out. Like maybe I can get a little bit more juice, but ain't enough. I feel like my efforts can be better allocated towards another place. Plus, I want to give you guys better information as time goes on, and that forces me to evolve, not just get stuck in my process. I'm trying to explain this to you. If I've been doing that for 4 years and this is what I have to show for it, like there is a lot here for people. You have no idea, because it's almost like you're going to be out of breath. You're going to be sweating in the middle of these lifts. You're going to have to work yourself in that type of shape, and that is the gauge you should be using. That's the gauge. What type of shape am I in? And let me work my way up to it. You don't try to go 0 to 100. There's no reason to do it, because one set in the beginning for you for upper chest and then mid and then lower might be more than enough. But then in maybe 2-3 months time, you're like, I need a little bit more. Pop it up to 2, pop it up to 3. And then as I said, like if you're getting to 4 and 5 territory, realistically, you're kind of slacking on those earlier ones. But it forces you to continuously tinker and dial in what quality actually looks like at a higher level, So regardless, I hope this video was worth your time, and I hope this is everything you were looking for. If there's anything you guys are looking for specifically, drop it down in the comments, and if people like those comments, please give those a thumbs up, and that way I know to make a video on it. As always, I love y'all, man. Uncle Rami out. Peace. You hear that damn sound? You get that at a commercial gym? Hell no, you don't get that at a commercial gym.